What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Raw Dawg Sports. I am Mike. That is Evo. Is this the real Caesar's Palace?
Absolutely.
Like Caesar actually lived here?
I think he had to
have. So we were out in Caesar's Palace this weekend, and we got to see my man Evo get married. Guys, welcome in. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today. Pillow fights, NBA, NHL, Rafael Devers, Adrian Peterson, Shedeur Sanders, and Shemar Stewart. So that's a lot of stuff to get through. But before we get into all of that, we got to take a second to talk about you this week that was. Man, the wedding was beautiful. Congratulations. The boys looked great. They looked like they had a good time as well. Your bride looked beautiful as well. Man, it was a great evening while we were with you guys. Basically everything else in Vegas sucked dick though.
Yeah. You didn't have a fantastic experience starting off.
I did not.
Look, we had some bumps too, but look, thank you to you and producer Amber and everyone else that made it out there. I didn't want to make it a big thing to get people to travel all across the country, but if you wanted to travel, at least wanted to be somewhere fun. Take two on this for me. So, and this is the last one, and I'm super happy. Yep. And it was a great ceremony. It was a lot of fun. I'm usually good at going on long rambling speeches and stuff like that here on the show. Just did a terrible fucking job for my vows because I found out right beforehand. Well, I have the video. It's on Facebook. I rewatched. I did not make a vow whatsoever. I mean,
you said thank you a lot, which was great.
Yeah, I just fucked up. Which is great. And of course, the reverend or whatever afterwards said, I had a lady who came in and she had jokingly been told that when your husband says his vows, just say ditto. And so that's what she did. Got to her and she said ditto and was very embarrassed by it. And so he's like, so she came back like a year later and they redid the ceremony, renewed their vows. And she actually had something long typed out. And I was like, oh, you want me to come spend more money is what you're trying to say. Like, yeah, exactly. I fucked up, but I think that it's part of the moment is I was kind of so taken aback by her that I was kind of speechless. Didn't have anything really good to say off the top of my head, which is abnormal. Kind of,
Listen, man, you're getting married. When you got love in your eyes, fucking things go out the window sometimes.
Yeah. And then, like I said, ceremony was great. It was great seeing everybody. Shout out to Omnia, the nightclub there at Caesar's Palace, for being a fucking cesspool shithole. Throw it out here as much as I can publicly. They can go and fuck themselves hardcore and suck my dick from the back because not only is it expensive as fuck, Vegas is just expensive, but it's expensive to get in there. The drinks, I think, for 2 Rebel vodkas that Hannah and I got were $150 something prior to tip. And we were barely in there before getting ejected because my lovely bride was wearing heels, was tripped while going to the bathroom, and they took her outside, ran a cognition test to make sure she wasn't drunk, which she slam dunk, ace in the hole, did great with it. And they still said, well, your night's over, which looking into it afterwards, apparently is what Omni is known for. You do anything and they toss you out. You trip at all, they toss you out. You could be walking through the doorway and you trip, or a bouncer accidentally trips you. They're kicking you out. So fuck Omnia. Caesar's Palace, shame on you for having that be your nightclub there. But it was a fantastic wedding venue. Otherwise, I would highly recommend that experience to anyone that wants to do their nuptials there or renew their vows. It's definitely worth it. But yeah, it was great seeing everybody. Had a great time doing that. But kind of a lead into what we're talking about with pillow fighting there is while I was getting a little bit loose before the actual ceremony at the bar, the Ocho was on.
It was on at the Circle Bar. I don't know if that was actually what it was called or if that's just what we named it as our rallying point.
It was referred to the Circle Bar to me by several people that worked there at Caesars as a navigation point because it wasn't easy to find your way around Caesars and like tons of people, a hustle and bustle, which I fucking hate. But also it's just there's lights, sounds, action all over the fucking place, and they would just be like, hey, just go down this hallway, make a left, make a right, make a left. Once you find the Circle Bar, make a straight and then a left, and what the fuck is going on? Either way, there's a circular bar. And on one of the TVs, Ocho is playing, and lo and behold, we see pillow fighting championships, grown men fighting with pillows.
They were getting at it too.
It took me a second to realize that this was not like a spoof, like we weren't watching Comedy Central from some movie or something. It's legit pillow fighting championship, and it's the PFC, the Pillow Fighting Championship League. I had to look it up, and look,
I got it right here.
From the bottom of our hearts here at Raw Dawg Sports, this is right up our alley. This is what our fans want, I think.
Yes.
We need to bring them more pillow fighting action and commentary. We will do better from the bottom of our hearts. We are sorry.
Yeah, 100%, man. I didn't understand the Pillow Fighting Championship, didn't respect it, saw it. Pillow Fighting Championship is the world's first professional pillow fighting league featuring professional fighters engaging in intense, fast-paced, and all ages-friendly combat, unrivaled by any other professional sport and entertainment or fighting organization. It's an insane spectacle.
Yeah, look, matches are typically 90 seconds with a 30-second tiebreaker if necessary. Points are awarded for strikes to the head, 360-degree strikes, knockdowns, and while showmanship is also encouraged. Physical contact beyond the pillows is prohibited, as is dropping the pillow or grabbing your opponent. Head strikes, both blocked or not, are worth 1 point. 360-degree head strikes are worth 3 points. Knockdowns worth 5. And showmanship, which is dodging or an acrobatic move, etc., can earn you 1 point. So look, there's a whole spectrum of stuff that I was unaware of here. It's pretty intense. I'm going to have to find a way to actually watch a little bit more of this, because if I were to have been partaking in more libations, or if you were partaking in some sort of herbal remedies, I'm sure it would have been even more fun. It's something that I wish that we could legitimately live stream and commentate. I don't know where we can do that. We would probably have to do it on some other platform, but
YouTube would yank us in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. Well, they can yank me if they want. That's I'm down for that. It's not above an old fashioned, but this is a revelation that I got to learn about on my wedding day. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was fun to watch while we got a couple of drinks. Got to meet your folks. Your dad is a badass old man. Very cool guy. Thank you for the drinks, by the way. He told us he doesn't watch, so
yeah. He doesn't do a whole lot right now. He's a stay-at-home dog dad. While my mom still goes to work, I think, to get out of the house away from him, which I completely fucking understand. It can be a little bit too much sometimes, but yeah, look, fantastic time. I just feel like I've been kind of rolling, getting blackjack ever since that day. I got to marry my best friend, and then I just had like phenomenal day. First day back at work, I get an extra promotion, and
nice.
Then
Congratulations,
100% disability as of today.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So like it's just all hitting good for me right now. I'm super stoked, super happy. I wish your luck could have been better, and I'm not just talking about at the gambling tables. You had a bit of a shitty experience out there in Vegas. First night there.
So it was actually started before we even got to fucking Vegas. It started in the Cleveland airport. Producer Amber misplaced the keys and thought that she had lost them. So sprints back through the Cleveland airport, which is not big by any means, but it's big enough and cannot
Big
find
enough.
the keys. That's exactly right. Big enough. That's the way she gets it. Anyways, we're like getting ready to board the plane. Can't find the keys. Runs all the way back. We're the last people getting on. Re-looks in the bag, exactly where she put them to begin with, and that's exactly where they are. So that's how our trip got started.
Excellent.
This is also we got into an argument about headphones. If somebody asks you, "Hey, do you want headphones for a flight?" and you say yes, do you think that they're going to grab those headphones? If you're packing, your wife is packing. She's like, "Hey, do you want headphones for the flight? Do you want your earphones for the flight?" I say yes.
Yeah, the assumption probably is that they would be packing them.
That's not what the assumption was on the other end. That was an argument. Oh, dude, it was just then first night we get there. Finally, we're having a good time. We are enjoying each other's company. Nobody's stressed anymore. We're having fun. We're not losing any money. We're just kind of hanging out, sitting even, getting some entertainment. We stay up late as fuck. About 2:30 in the morning. We haven't seen anybody come around to get a drink. So I go to the bar, go get us a drink. At some point between that moment when I got up and when I got to the bar, my phone was gone. I don't know if I got, if I set it down like a dumbass and somebody else picked it up, if I took it to the bathroom and left it in the shitter because I had to get up to use the bathroom in between there. But that bitch was gone. Okay, that sucks. Losing your phone really sucks. And then it just got worse because after I lost the phone got turned off, even though I know that there was plenty of battery in it. So I couldn't track it with producer Amber's phone. Then not in, lost and found. Go back the next day, nothing. And then we're at the nightclub. You guys are having a good old time. And then you get kicked out. We're still dancing, not understanding what's going on yet because you've texted us, but we can't see it because whoever has my fucking phone has gone into my Yahoo and tried to get into my bank account and tried to do a whole bunch of creative things to get money. Yeah, it was an experience. I had to call, shut off my cards. It was basically I was shut off from the entire world. I didn't have a phone, so there's no social media. There was no porn, no nothing. But you know what? It was actually really nice, like kind of freeing to not have social media for a little while.
See, look, that's the Army in us. That's that MRT training, hunting the good stuff there. You still got 2 feet and a heartbeat. We're good to roll, brother.
That's right.
It's all good in the hood. And I'm sure that you probably got your phone back now because I saw you're trying to start fights. Sit and fuck people's wives.
Yeah, well, listen, man, he shouldn't have been talking shit.
Yep. And so Sleeveless Mike is back.
Yes, he is.
He's back at it. But yeah, look, again, I can't say it enough to everybody who came. Wholeheartedly appreciate everyone who was able to come out, send us well wishes and everything for the wedding. Had a great time in Vegas, spent a decent amount of money. But it was all worth it. All absolutely worth it. So real good time.
And James Ohler, Ohler, you are never getting that $200 from my bamboo, ever.
All right.
All right, brother. Are we ready to start talking about some fucking sports?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get
I guess we kind of did with the pillow fights.
Yeah, pillow fight. But that's, it's basically a new segment for the show that we're going to have to give you some sort of updates here or there about pillow fight championships. It is growing. It is going to grow. We got to get Raw Dawg Sports sponsored by or sponsoring pillow fight championship.
I'm down, dude. I thought it was really cool. I can get behind it. I'll learn the sport. All right, brother.
Topless pillow fighting. Just let's it's an idea. It's an idea.
All right, man. Let's get it into it. NBA Finals. I thought they were going to be over by the time we did our next show. That is not the case. We get one more game. Game 7 coming up on Sunday. Game 6. Pacers came out, did what they needed to do, man. 108-91. Pretty even effort all the way around. nobody really showed out. Everybody just played really solid all-around basketball for this Pacers team. And the Thunder, who I thought were going to really go out there and seal this thing, it felt like they had a lot of momentum.
Yeah,
and they just didn't get it done.
This Thunder team is good. Obviously, I have my issues with SGA, but that is inevitable at this point that he's just going to be a bitch. So you have to learn to play around that, play with it. It's been, in this case, because it's going to a game 7, it's been a good series. It has been two heavyweights just kind of duking it out back and forth. And so getting to a game 7 is a good thing for the sport. It's a good thing for the championship. It does feel like OKC is probably the favorite here. I mean, you would have to, the way that they've won has been in relatively dominant fashion. The officiating has taken on a whole new role in this matchup, it feels like, as well, which is just shitty for the sport. But obviously I'm rooting for the Pacers. I don't know if you are, since they came from your side, but it's going to be an interesting one. Obviously a good match to watch. Halliburton being injured is, just a little sprinkle of extra issue with this one. So definitely an interesting final to watch.
Yeah, I mean, so listen, I'm rooting for the Pacers. They beat my team. But also the Halliburton story has been really cool to watch. I have really enjoyed watching him through this NBA Finals. So that I've kind of like hitched my wagon to him since they knocked us out.
Yeah. And not to, like, obviously Halliburton's doing great things, but Siakam has been phenomenal as well. So you got, two pretty damn good teams, two pretty dominant teams right now. It's what you want in a championship. I mean, we're getting to actually see a championship game. Like, that's what you definitely want in the sport.
Yeah, when you get game 7, you want it to be hopefully a close game. Game 6 wasn't all that close, but hey, you know what? I'm very excited for game 7. Let's transition over to the NHL, where game 7 was not fucking close at all. Which, man, once again, this felt like Oilers might find a way to finally get it done. Momentum. And then Panthers were not having any of that. They came out and just stomped a shithole, and it happened quick. Reinhart was everywhere. 4 goals in this thing. It was insane. Oilers never had a shot. They got jumped on early and saw ghosts.
Yeah, and it wasn't just that. I mean, to win the series 4-2, it was less of an entertaining series. In hockey, especially just because Panthers felt really dominant. They go back to back in this one. Again, I don't like that Florida teams are winning NHL championships, because it's a sport on ice. It just feels a little bit weird for Florida teams to be winning, but that's what happens when you don't have state taxes and whatnot. So congratulations to the Panthers. The Oilers looked like it was your time to possibly make this run. Hopefully they can carry that in the future years.
Listen, they're a good team. They got the best player in hockey right now on that team. So they'll be back. That fan base has got to get tired of seeing the failures here, especially at this late stage. But
did a good job of fucking that Stanley Cup up. I don't know if you've seen all the pictures of it. It is just fucked up.
I mean, they've had it for a while, bro. I mean, they've probably done some dirty shit to that thing at this point.
The top of the cup is like ripped and broken in, and all sorts of random shit. Yeah, well dented. So they're having the time of their lives. That's the hockey players, though. That's one thing. I don't know if you've heard the stories of hockey teams, professional hockey teams, whether they win or lose in the playoffs. The partying afterwards is wild. Those guys like to get fucking down. Because that's the thing, is they're all considered these dumb brute mauler type of guys, missing teeth and shit like that. But outside of the sport, they carry themselves with an air of professionalism that is kind of different from a lot of other sports, where they are typically very like heavy drinkers and they love their women, but they keep it pretty damn professional in suits and shit like that out in public. But after the season is over, they turn up and they like to get rowdy. They get in fights and everything. I've heard many stories about the specific bars that they go to in Minneapolis for the Minnesota Wild, and how it's, you go to one bar, you're there 30 minutes, they drink, get in a fight, get kicked out, next one, drink, fight. It's a rough and rowdy time, which, it's kind of what you like to hear from the sport.
I mean, I enjoy that very much so. Hockey is a great sport. I mean, hockey fans are good people. Hockey players seem like good dudes. Shout out to Sam Llewellyn, the young man that we featured on here not too long ago. He is actually down, I think, Mid-Americas or something, invited, playing with the best, hockey players in the entire country right now. I can't do that. Kid is so good. Was recruited to go to the second best or second most high rated hockey program in the country for a private school.
Awesome. Excellent.
So that kid is, we're going to have to learn more about hockey because Sam's definitely making it there, bro. That kid's got so much talent. Anyways, let's transition out of hockey. Let's talk baseball, man. Baseball season can fuck right off is how I feel right now. Because my team is in the skid of all skids, dog. We stink out loud. We need help. Chase the Lauder needs to be up. There's a lot of things that could be better with our team. We are not making the playoffs. And the Tigers are winning this division.
As of right now, yeah. The Tigers are, still best team in baseball, I believe. And you're 9.5 back. Twins are 10 back.
10 back.
We both haven't had great stretches here, even 4-6 over the last 10. I'm 3-7.
Dog, we've been outscored on the season.
Yeah, it's rough for sure. But again, can't say this enough. It's a long baseball season. There's plenty of time for some things to change, some different action.
We need some pop. We need to start scoring some fucking runs, man. Also help if our rotation would just not be left out there entirely too long. But listen, it is a very, very long baseball season. I'm pretty sure that we are fighting for wild cards no matter what. The Tigers team is absolutely fantastic. I don't think that's going to slow down unless injuries absolutely come in and decimate that team. Right now, they are absolutely stacked. They will probably be looking to add pieces to the puzzle as the season goes on. Kind of like the Giants just did. Giants, right in the thick of the division and the playoff race, 42-33, they make a huge trade for Rafael Devers. And when this news broke, I think it shocked damn near everybody. I know Jeff Passan, I think, is who broke it, and Jeff was completely taken back. The Red Sox paid him a shitload of money, $250 million or some shit.
$254.5 million.
Okay, so yeah, a lot of fucking money. And that was a long contract, and they're not even close to being done with it. So to make this move either tells you that ownership says that they've made a massive mistake and they have to move off of this. They're not going to pay this contract. Because you can find somebody to go take Rafael Devers. He's a professional hitter. And with universal DH, every team now has a guy that they can just hit. So he can go over to the Giants and just be a DH, or he's going to try to maybe play a little bit of first base for them. He's not a good fielder, but he rakes. So Giants make a huge move. Boston kind of looks like they're scrambling. They are back in the standings. Now, they are not back anywhere like we are, but they are looking up at a tough division with the Rays, the Jays, and the Yankees. The Orioles are a pretty good team as well, young team. So they're going to have a tough road to hoe, and I don't think that they got enough to, like, when you talk about the run production that Rafael Devers gives, man, I don't like the trade at all. If I'm a Red Sox fan, but also I am jaded because I remember what it's like to have a superstar traded away from your team. I remember when Francisco Lindor was traded. It fucking sucks. So, yeah, I feel for those people right now. But
Yeah.
I think Giants got a hell of a player in Devers.
They got a hell of a bat.
Yeah.
Then I think a lot of the question marks come around, the Red Sox are obviously fourth right now. It is, only 5 games back, but it's still going to be a tough scramble up. But there's a lot of talk about team chemistry, that Devers was somewhat of a cancer to the team. It sounds almost like a sigh of relief from some of the players and what they've said about him being traded. This was kept quiet from everybody. Like your insiders in baseball had no idea that there was anything being talked about. And in relief, the Red Sox get left-handed starting pitcher Kyle Harrison, Jordan Hicks, James Tibbs III, Jose Bello. So I honestly don't know if that's a great return or not, but they aren't having to pay that insane contract.
So that
if he was a cancer on the team, that's something that you're able to move off of. You're not getting any sort of defensive production from this guy. But if you are the Giants, you're pretty close in your division. You want to make a run. Adding this extra bat helps him a little bit. And it might be an opportunity for the Red Sox to get away from a guy who, if he truly is kind of this cancer on the team, like is somewhat being purported, it could be an opportunity to get a bit of a fresh start, some relief with the money, and get some young guys in house.
Yeah, I mean, it could absolutely work. We have no idea how any of this is going to play out, especially because if Devers can't field at all, he's going to have to rake. Now, being a lefty out there on the Bay has had some pretty good advantages. Barry Bonds did pretty goddamn well for himself out there. So he could put up some pretty decent numbers that would make you think that it wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah.
But all right, man, let's talk about people getting into fights. Because it seems that your boy is not necessarily very good at it. Adrian Peterson caught getting into a brawl again at a poker game. I mean, I don't know, not brawl again, but we have seen Adrian Peterson in a fight before, in a boxing match against Le'Veon Bell. And he got sat down.
Yeah.
But Le'Veon trains, man. Le'Veon trains.
For sure. Look, Adrian Peterson, one of the greatest players that I've got to see in my lifetime, one of my favorite Vikings of all time, one of the greatest runners of the rock in football ever. I believe he's a first ballot type Hall of Famer at running back whenever he decides to actually hang up the cleats, because he hasn't officially retired yet. But off the field, obviously, he's tarnished a lot of his career with a whole slew of different things, whether it was Switchgate, of him using a switch on his son, who his son, I believe, is
a very high-ranked prospect right now.
Yeah. AP Jr., I don't know if it's the same one or not, because I know he's got several kids. But having camels at his birthday party, which seemed a little bit extravagant, especially for a guy who is not doing the best that he should in the money game right now. He had an entourage that he kind of paid for their lifestyles for a long time, and now has filed for bankruptcy, I believe, at times. Just recently had a DUI at the Vikings draft party afterwards. And now he's got this fight at a poker match. It was a fight against a friend, actually, a buddy that he was playing poker with. Things got heated. He put out a big Instagram post. They both came up bloody from it. But neither of them looked to be good fighters, to be completely honest. It's just, if I was going to pick someone to fight against, it probably wouldn't be Adrian Peterson, because the dude is an athletic freak. And so, just based off that athleticism, it's not a guy that I would want to square up with. But yeah, he doesn't look to be the best fighter out there. It makes me feel bad, because he is such a good football player, so important to the Minnesota Vikings. I hate to see him continually stepping on his crank and kind of tarnishing his career like this. Yeah. I wish that, he would lay low a little bit, make some good investments and stuff like that, and kind of push towards a better future. I think part of that is probably got to decide to retire finally. I don't think anyone is looking to get a 38-year-old running back in there. It's about time. Find your way into the Hall of Fame and take the good from your career and kind of use that to help propel you forward.
Very well said, my man. I'm going to leave it right there. Let's transition into a little bit of local sports here. The Cleveland Browns. So they have had, rookie minicamp. Shedeur looked good. A lot of people look good in rookie minicamp. OTAs, Shedeur looked good. Minicamp, mandatory mini. Everybody looked good. Shedeur looked good. Where Shedeur didn't look good, though, was in the news. Shedeur has been caught speeding multiple times, apparently, this recent time at 101 miles an hour, which is entirely too fucking fast. So I've seen a lot of things made of this entire scenario. The only thing I'm going to start with just this. Shedeur, slow down. And it's not because of you or anything else. Motherfuckers around here do not pay attention at all when they are fucking driving. Straight up. They don't fucking pay attention. So, slow the fuck down. Stop going 100 miles an hour, even if you are more than capable of controlling the vehicle. Because it's not just you on the roads. Motherfucking, I almost said it. The dumbasses around here do not pay attention on the road. You will get yourself hurt or killed. Slow down. With that being said, it's a fucking speeding ticket, everybody. Calm the fuck down. Is it a bad decision? Absolutely. Is it a dangerous one? Yes, it is. Did he beat his girlfriend? No. Did he sexually assault 30 plus women? No. It's not the same thing. Anybody talking about, oh, they got to cut him is a dumbass. Plain and simple. There's no way you talk about cutting a guy for a speeding ticket. You get in his ear, you say, if this happens again, we're going to hire you a driver. And you won't be fucking driving to and from the facility. That's all you really can do. You're not going to cut him. I understand he's a 5th round pick and you could easily cut him and get rid of him and nobody bats an eye. But it's a speeding ticket. We have dudes that have done way worse in that locker room. Calm the fuck down, everybody. Shedeur's going to be fine. But slow down, bro. People, seriously, you'll get hurt.
Yeah, that's the first I've heard of people saying cut him, other than the obvious
trolls. Oh God, the fucking Browns Twitter is just like pouring gasoline on a fucking fire, dude.
Yeah, but the obviously you don't want to speed. You don't want to feloniously speed. The bigger thing is you want to be the franchise guy. You want to be the franchise quarterback. Obviously, there's been turmoil around the franchise quarterbacks as of recently, in the news for different things. Yeah. Also, you are a target, like a ripe target for everybody. You just got to make better decisions. You want to make good decisions on the football field and off the football field to best represent yourself and your football team. And so, at that point, I don't know. I would have already probably had a personal driver, because if I'm the team, that's something that I probably would have already been potentially investing in, just because, hey, if this is a guy that we want to be our guy, potential face of the franchise going into the future, and we think that he is going to be as good as you think he's going to be, you want to make some cheap investments. It's not going to cost you that much to
I'll do it.
Guy.
I will drive him.
I bet you will.
Everywhere he wants to fucking go, bro.
I will drive him everywhere. I'll feed him food. I will do whatever.
No, I'm not doing that last part.
Yeah, I bet you would.
Actually, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you remember when all of this started, when there was the conversations like, what were we going to call Browns Twitter when we got that quarterback? The name I came up with was the Shedeur Slobbers or something like that, and that's exactly what I mean. Listen, man, I think he's going to be really fucking good as long as he doesn't get in trouble for speeding anymore.
Yeah,
that would be super cool if we could stop that.
We don't need a Henry Ruggs situation.
No, there's plenty of cases that show how bad of an idea traveling at those speeds are, especially for a young football player. But I also remember being a young football player, a young man in the military, thinking that I was fucking invincible. You're not, bro.
You're not.
You're not.
And look, he's got the weight of a city on his shoulders, and there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. I'm sure there's a Spider-Man quote in there or something like that somewhere. But like, you just gotta like, yes, he is young, but you gotta be able to make good decisions for yourself, for your franchise. You lose a bunch of those responsibilities when you become a professional quarterback for a football team. Like the different things that you would normally do, us as dummy thick idiots when we were young and in the army. I have absolutely traveled at triple digits before.
Yeah.
But if I die, it's essentially nothing. If he dies, it is a huge smear on the community and all of football. There's kids that look up to him.
Yeah.
You know, there's a huge responsibility that he has. So you just got to do better. It's not the best way to start off on the right foot, you know?
It's a mistake. You learn, you grow. Everybody calm down. We're not cutting him. However, I do love this comment coming in from producer Amber. Are we still saying allegedly for Deshaun? Dealer's choice.
I can't keep up with the shit.
Listen, we have an LLC filed now. So if he wants to sue us, he's going to be suing this thing.
Perfect.
So, all right. Moving on to another piece of Ohio football news and more news that just brings joy to my heart. Shemar Stewart is very unhappy that he was drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals. I believe that the Cincinnati Bengals are starting to regret have drafted Shemar Stewart. Last I checked, he is still unsigned. He left camp, and they are not really talking. And the language in the contract is so fucking far off that there is talk that he will sit out the entire year and go back into the draft. I don't know how you could fuck it up this bad with your all-pro pass rusher and your brand new rookie pass rusher, but the Bengals have found a way to do it.
Yeah, and this is I see too much hate going out there towards Shemar Stewart, but people need to understand what this is about. Rookie contracts, obviously, the wage is set based on your draft position. Like, you can't really negotiate a whole lot of that. You could negotiate more theoretically, but that's just not going to happen. Like right now, Tyler Shuck is trying to negotiate his contract to be fully guaranteed. I don't think that's going to happen, but in this situation, it's not like Shemar Stewart is being like, you're not paying me enough, I want it fully guaranteed, anything like that. It is about specific verbiage within this Bengals contract, which is a little bit asinine. If Shemar Stewart had signed, if Shedeur Sanders had signed the same contract that is being offered to Shemar Stewart, the Bengals could cut him with no recourse, no money given, nothing like that. It is, and this is from other football players, specifically Jeremiah Searles, who former offensive lineman, who is now a player agent. I've listened to him talk about this. Players want Shemar to stand his ground on this, because the language in there is, if there is any infraction that could be viewed as negative towards the team, and they leave it completely open like that, they are allowed to cut his pay or cut him from the team without any recourse. That could be something as simple as showing up late to a team meeting. Oh, well, we're taking your pay. You get a speeding ticket. You're not getting any of your guaranteed money anymore.
Yeah.
It's taking what is guaranteed money, not making it guaranteed, which he's due in that contract for where he was drafted. You can say what you want about your thoughts about the player, whether or not he was worth a draft selection or not. I know there's a lot of arguments about, potential versus what he actually did on the field and everything. It doesn't really matter. You were drafted where you're drafted. You're due that compensation.
You're slotted there. They asked for that.
It is a difficult situation to be in for him, for sure, because this is your chance to make it into professional sports. You sit out this year. I don't think that he's going to be viewed in the NFL as some guy who's like anti-football or anything like that. But you already had question marks about your capability based on your play on the field, even though you were still a first-round pick. But
We'll see
now
him in spring ball.
You've got a year removed from.
We'll see him in spring ball. He'll find somewhere to go play.
He could.
I would imagine there are options now.
The Canadian Football League or something like that, theoretically. But the still, it is not going to be good for his long term, or at least it wouldn't be good for him short term to sit out the entire year. However, I think that he's going to do it. It's such a smear on the Bengals that I don't think that they will allow this to happen. They are going to be the ones that break first, because he's also out there showing out for his teammates. He's going to the media saying, yeah, what they're doing to Trey Hendrickson is wrong. You're not even signed with the team yet, and you're bad mouthing them. It's a bad look on the Bengals, on their ownership, how they're treating their players. And you know that the guys on his team are going to have his back on all of this, because he's making a stance not just for himself, but for every other single Bengals first round pick from here on out. Because if he signs that contract, it is going to be expected from every first round pick that they have going forward. It's a very slippery slope. I believe that this sort of contract language is out there in other contracts for other players. My guy Gray Zabel had similar language in his contract that he signed with the Seattle Seahawks, but it wasn't as pervasive as what the Bengals are doing. I think it's a shame that the Bengals are doing this, just because it makes your franchise look really fucking silly. It's creating extra drama that you don't need. Your defense is already terrible, and now your top two options as edge rushers are not going to be playing for you next year because you can't work out a fucking contract. It's a shame. It's silly. It's stupid. And if I was a Bengals fan, I would be calling for ownership change, because it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, they don't pay. They don't have any goddamn money. They were selling TVs out of the fucking stadium. Bro.
If I'm Joe Burrow,
bring it. I love it.
I'm
ready
like,
for
hey,
Bengals fans to be back where they fucking belong.
Like, they need a player strike on that team. Say, hey, I know I'm Joe Burrow and I'm getting paid lucrative amounts of money, and you just paid my guy Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and everything. But also, we're not going to play unless you provide us something on defense, because this is fucking clown shoes. How about you just pay them what they are expected to be paid, so we can put together some semblance of a defense and try to go fucking win some games.
I mean, yeah, you could lead a goddamn revolt.
But I don't think there's any argument with Joe Burrow doing that. Like, if Joe Burrow does it, what is your franchise going to do? He is the franchise.
I guess they could trade him. They did it to Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer sat out, though.
Carson Palmer is a good player, but he ain't Joe Burrow.
It's true. Man, I don't care what they do. I hope they keep sucking. I hope it goes terrible for them.
Yeah.
So,
it'll be interesting to see what your thoughts are on your schedule predictions for this team, because schedule predictions are coming soon, ladies and gentlemen. For how this new season is going to shake out. I got mine done. I'm willing to make some adjustments here or there. That's one of the last kind of locks to fall for me. There's James Cook and everything up in Buffalo, but I'm pretty set in where I am right now with my predictions. But we'll see how things go.
All right. I'm going to make sure I get mine done this weekend. We can start talking predictions next week. But we had one more thing we wanted to get in for tonight's show. Evo, you brought it to my attention. The NCAA made a massive decision. Take it away, brother.
Yeah. So this was a couple weeks ago, I believe, June 7th. There has been a open case against the NCAA about NIL and players getting paid, back pay for players. Either way, a settlement was reached. The NCAA is going to pay out $2.8 billion to players who played from, I believe it was 2016 until 2024, for taking away their ability to earn money on their name, image, and likeness. Now, obviously, NIL is a thing in the NCAA. Currently, there's 85,000 or more than 85,000 athletes who have filed claims against the NCAA who are going to be receiving back pay. We did the math here earlier. I believe that equals just under $33,000 per player. I don't know if it's going to be weighted towards different sports or towards production or anything like that. However, going from getting nothing from your name, image, likeness to getting something is absolutely worth it if you played collegiate sports. But it also kind of allows, I believe it's a collective bargaining agreement that teams are basically able to direct pay players now going forward. There's going to be some sort of a cap towards it, and it's going to delegitimize some of the booster backed payments that are out there. But either way, it is a large shift in the NIL structure, the way the NCAA is approaching NIL deals. And it's a good thing for those players dating all the way back to 2016 that they are going to be able to receive some sort of compensation for all the money that they made their schools.
Yeah, so the back pay is awesome. And honestly, if you're going to do back pay, I hope that they just split it amongst everybody who fucking files evenly. There's a file by date. If you don't file by this date, you're not in the suit. And then everybody from there splits it evenly. Because you know what's going to happen if they don't do it that way? They're going to have to go back into the records and see who did what. And they're going to drag their fucking feet because they got to pay out $2.8 billion. That's billion with a motherfucking B. So they are not going to be in a hurry to figure out who did what. I hope they just is dead, even split. Those female athletes who weren't getting shit are going to have a great fucking payday there. So that'll be awesome. That's what I think should fucking happen. But we'll see.
Yeah. And look, the NCAA came to this settlement agreement because they've lost a lot recently in the Supreme Court. If this actually went to court and didn't result in a settlement, they're expecting to be $10 billion or more. So the NCAA is kind of getting away with one here still, but at least they're having to take a little bit of a hit. But look, going forward, this is a good thing. It's based on schools' revenues that they're earning annually. And they're going to be able to use that revenue in order to give their players direct payment for playing for these teams. There's an enforcement structure that's going to be led by the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and ACC. And so it's taking a little bit of that power away from the NCAA, allowing the conferences and the schools to directly pay for their players to come play for them. Now, this is going to probably open up a whole new can of worms that we've kind of already talked about with, some of these bigger schools, bigger backers being able to pay their players more than other places. And you might start to see some of these super teams. But again, there's supposed to be some sort of caps involved with this and how much these payers can get paid from the schools. You're still going to have name, image, likeness for guys. I believe it's Arch Manning right now is making the most of any NIL players, something like 6 or 7 million per year. You're still going to be seeing that out there. That's not going to go away. But it's still a good move for the players to actually get the payment for, earning revenue for the places that they're playing.
Yeah. I'm glad that people are going to get the money. Now, I have my concerns about being paid directly by the school because then you become an employee and there are different rules and shit that goes into that. I don't know how they're going to work all that out. So there's a lot of shit to figure out. And we're going to start figuring shit out soon. My kids are going to be, Graydon's getting ready to 2 years away from high school. Also, we got to help Matt because his boy is Malachi is going to have a good time at whatever college he goes to because it's going to be a big one, I think.
Already doing camps with down in Tuscaloosa with Alabama there.
He's going to go to a big school.
Yeah, for sure. We have a little bit of a local shout out here. I'll throw up the comment.
All right.
Emmy, our guy Byron, his daughters finally got to play catcher. I've seen my phone kind of light up here about it as well with her softball team. So congrats to Emmy.
Oh yeah, Emmy. Hell yeah, Emmy. Man, do we have any other sports? Because I have one more shout out to give as well.
No, man. I think that probably wraps it up right now. We're about to get into training camp season, so things are going to get hot and heavy with football. Obviously, we're going to do those schedule predictions here pretty soon in the future. But look, it's just kind of biding our time, waiting for the NFL to really kick back off.
Yeah, man. The shorter shows probably for a little bit because the NFL is our bread and butter. But the off season tends to find a way to provide. We've got a lot of fun little stories. Hopefully, AP doesn't get in any more fights since this started. But quick shout out. So I've been doing my internship to make sure I can graduate next spring. I'll graduate from Cleveland State with my bachelor's degree and 3 fucking minors. I think that's what it's going to come out as. But I'm doing a film camp. I'm a camp counselor at a film camp. And last week, I had the pleasure of working with a group of high school kids. We got to make a movie. So shout out to Chloe, Penny, Darren, and Jackson. I appreciate you guys. They were checking out Raw Dawg Sports. There's even part of the credits said that movie was not sponsored by Raw Dawg Sports. But shout out to those guys. If they see this, hey, good job. The film was fun. Go make more cool shit.
Awesome. Very cool.
But with that, guys, we're going to wrap this thing up. We're going to get the fuck out of here. I am Mike. That is Evo. This is Raw Dawg Sports. We're going to be back next week. I'm not sure what day yet. We have to check our schedules. Things have been crazy, hectic. We missed last week because of the wedding. Friday this week because wedding, traveling. Also, I've been busy as all hell with the internship. So we're going to be back next week for sure. We'll let you know what day. But with that, Evo, give the people one last word.
Hey, thank you everybody for tuning in. We love to bring as much information and fun and obviously getting into pillow fighting stuff there. We like to have a good time here. We like to bring that raw authenticity to you. So hopefully you enjoy tuning in. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks for supporting me through the wedding and everything, to you, Mike and Amber and everyone else. And looking forward to leading into this new year.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Guys, I'm Mike. That's Evo. We appreciate you. Anytime you spend time with us, we cannot thank you enough. Time is the most valuable thing that you have. We'll see you next week. See you.